Welcome back to the Retro Craptacular podcast, where each month we continue our search for the best bad movies on the planet Earth. I am your host, Aaron, and I am joined, as always, by Matt.
Hello, Aaron, my friend.
Yeah, that's me.
Ooh, no reciprocation. That's cool. Let's move along. How you doing?
Dude, I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good.
Oh, awesome.
I've seen some stuff lately. I've seen some good stuff, seen some bad stuff.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying. When you say I've seen some stuff lately, it has a very negative connotation to it.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, there's a mic there.
Okay.
Watch out. Yeah, there you go.
I almost knocked it completely over. That's all right. How are you? How's your life day week?
How's my Life Day week? Well,
How was your life day week?
My week in celebration of Life Day.
Yeah.
Which, that is a Star Wars. Isn't that a Star Wars
holiday
thing?
special
Yeah,
thing.
Life Day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I just got so many flashbacks.
Life day, la la la, life day. Yeah.
Oh, if y'all haven't
Mistakes were made.
if y'all haven't seen that yet, don't. But
No, I'm gonna say do.
you want? Oh, I guess is that where we landed on that? We did an episode on the Star Wars.
I don't know. I feel
Holiday
like I'm
Special.
far enough removed from it that I'm okay to tell other people to see it now. I don't know
Oh.
if I'd ever watch it again myself, but hey, I'm not gonna have other deny people that experience if that's what they want.
If that's what they want, then yeah, sure.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways,
Yeah.
how's your life day week?
Life Day week was, yeah, good. I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
fine. Yeah,
Cool.
can't say anything extraordinary has been going on. I did watch very enjoyable show, Amazon Prime original.
Ooh.
Got myself the 30-day free trial specifically to watch the Neil Gaiman and
Good Omens.
Terry Pratchett. Yeah,
Yeah.
Good Omens.
How's that?
Man, it was good.
Yeah, good. Okay.
I thought it was stupendous.
'Cause
Like,
I saw the trailer for it and I was like, does not appeal to me.
no?
No.
Wow. I mean, I didn't watch a trailer for it or anything. I went in blind like I like to.
Yeah.
And it was very compelling, really interestingly like written, and oh boy, the acting from our two leads was phenomenal. They did such a good job. Like, they really did.
Because David Tennant
David Tennant
and Michael Sheen.
Right. Those
okay.
are our leads, and they fucking killed it.
Right.
I thought they were amazing
Yeah,
together.
they're both pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I for some reason, like, I really like Neil Gaiman. Like, I mean, I've read a little bit of Sandman, and then
Yep.
I've read like some stuff that he did on Batman.
I think so.
Maybe? Yeah. I think it's Batman. Anyways, I read a bit of his stuff. I think he's like a talented guy, but for some reason I have like no impulse to watch any of his shows.
Huh.
Like, he also has American Gods on
Yeah.
Prime.
Not really familiar with that one myself.
And it's based on a novel, I think, that he wrote. Like, for some reason I'm just like, don't really want to.
Well, I mean, if you ever have an inkling, or that's not the right word. If you ever have the desire to watch Good Omens, I say just give it a shot. I thought it was great. Yeah.
Okay. I might check it out.
Super funny, but like dark humor.
Okay. That sounds like it might be something I'm into.
And David Tennant is just ridiculous.
My parents were trying to watch it. They're like, how do we watch it? And I'm like, well, you have to have Amazon Prime. And they're like, well, why do we have to get that? Why isn't it on Netflix? I'm like, because it's a Prime original. I'm like, what does that mean? I'm trying to explain like the concept of exclusivity to my parents, and they're like, well, why do they do it that way? That's dumb.
Why do they do it that way?
It's mostly my mom. She's like, why do they do it that way? Like, that's dumb. I don't want to pay for another subscription. I'm like, I know. But if you want to watch Good Omens, you're going to have to. Or steal it. Which is, I think, just the way everything's going to go. We can talk about that in a second.
Ultimately, I think theft is kind of fun, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
a little bit.
when you really get down to it,
Yeah,
it's pretty fun.
if Kid Rock has taught us anything, it's that we should just steal everything.
Although one might argue that Kid Rock has taught us nothing. So,
yeah,
I mean,
you
there's that.
You could make that argument, and I don't know that many people would argue against you.
I would hope not.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on.
Do you see? I know there's one thing that we definitely both saw, but have you seen anything else other than that?
I mean,
besides, recently?
no, I think that's my biggest media catch up.
It was Good Omens. Did you watch all of it? Like, you done?
Oh yeah, watched it all the way through.
Nice.
Good times.
Nice. I watched some shit. I
have seen some shit.
I saw John Wick 3 the other night.
Oh, how was that?
It was real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was about as good as any of the other John Wick movies.
Yeah.
Which is to say, not very good.
Okay, thank you. Fucking thank you. There are so many people in this world. It seems like the majority of them, and they all love John Wick.
Yeah, they think this is like the next greatest action franchise, that it like saved action movies, that it like revitalized the genre, and like, I mean, sure, it saved Keanu Reeves' career, but like,
Sure did.
it's fucking garbage.
It is garbage.
They're fucking horrible movies. Here's why. Thank you for hating this too.
Yes.
Oh my god. I thought we were gonna blow past this because I got other shit I want to talk about.
Dear listener, really sorry if you like John Wick, but we're about to blow this shit wide open.
Yeah. Fuck yourself if you. No, I'm just kidding. Whatever. You can like what you like.
That was
sorry. Shit got real for a second. What you like. Look, there's worse things you could like. Okay. I'll throw that out there because I think
like racism,
if you like racism,
then
fuck you.
Then go watch John Wick.
No. What?
I don't know.
Now we're saying that like only racists like John Wick?
Nah, that's not what I meant to say.
We gotta dig ourselves out of this hole. Dig up, stupid. Dig
up.
Oh, good. Got the Simpsons reference out of the way early.
Perfect. Love it. So John Wick.
Like, there's this basic rule in action movie filmmaking, and if you want to, Patrick Willems does a really, really good video essay about why James Cameron is such a good action filmmaker, and that's because he understands that the stakes are important, and that like your hero should not be an equal match to their villain. So like, you watch the Terminator, like they're totally outgunned by the Terminator all the time.
Yeah,
there's no way to stop
open
him.
field 1-on-1 fight. There's no contest, right?
Yeah, and then in Terminator 2, they flip that on their head again, where they're like, the unstoppable killing machine in the last movie. Well, he's on your side now, and there's an even bigger bad that even he can't stop, because it's even scarier and an even more effective killing machine than he is. So you're still fucked, even though you got supposedly what was the ultimate killing machine in the last movie. Now it's on your team, you're still fucked. So it's like, stakes are always raised. Your heroes are always like getting the crap beat out of them, and they're almost always like losing, right? Like they don't win in Terminator 2 until the very end. Like, it's just like defeat after defeat after defeat, where they just barely escape with their lives, right? And John Wick, while he gets the shit kicked out of him in those movies, he still headshots everybody all the time.
Yeah, he still is like superhuman.
There's no scene in any of these movies where I don't think that he'll headshot everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I just assume that he's
the ultimate killing machine in this scenario, right?
Yeah, totally. And like, he can get shot, stabbed. They like try to ground it in reality, where like he gets the shit beat out of him and he's the doctor to like patch him back up, but he's like still doing kung fu with a gun and shit, like, while
gung fu.
He's doing gung fu. Like, in the third movie, spoilers for John Wick 3, he gets shot in the gut twice and falls off the roof of the hotel, the Continental Hotel.
Okay.
That he goes to at the beginning. He gets shot in the gut twice, falls off the roof of that. I'm gonna say it's at least 10 stories, and he hits a lot of shit on the way down. A lot of shit on the way down, and then Jason Mantzoukas puts him in a shopping cart and wheels him underground to Morgan Freeman, not Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, hold the phone there, but
Lawrence Fishburne.
There we go.
My mind went to Morpheus.
And that turned into Morgan Freeman.
And Lawrence and Morpheus got mashed up in my head to Morgan Freeman. Lawrence Fishburne, who's back. So there's like a little Matrix reunion in this movie.
Good times.
Yeah, just like... It's weird because like I feel like I find so much of the movie... or so much of the world like intriguing. Like the Continental Hotel is really interesting. That whole like secret underground assassin world like could be kind of cool.
Yeah.
To explore more, right? But it's ruined by the fact that the movie's so bad. Like you can tell it was directed by. I mean, the first one was directed by 2 stunt guys, and then the second one is just 1 stunt guy. Right, but you could tell
it's just all stunts.
Yeah, it's just like a big stunt reel. Like they just put together like a really, really impressive show reel of like all the coolest stunts that they've wanted to do. And like action stuff. And it's like, yeah, that's great, but like make a good movie in there somewhere.
If you can, yeah, that'd be great.
If you can't, like even in the first movie when he's like digging up all the shit in like in his basement, he's like smashing up the concrete, and he like pulls out like whole bunch of guns and like gold coins, and you're kind of like, if you know, in a good movie you'd be like, who the hell is this guy? He's got guns, he's got these weird gold coins, he's got like all kinds of stuff, he's like putting on a suit. I'm like, what the fuck? Super weird, right? And then, you know, you would be like, oh, who is this guy? Except while this is happening, the Russian guy is like telling his son, like, you fucked with John Wick. He's Baba Yaga. He's the last thing men see before they die. He's like the most brutal killer in the whole world. And he just like tells you everything about it. And it's like, show, don't tell, motherfucker. Like, you're literally showing me.
Show, don't tell.
But then you put this fucking Russian guy over top to, like,
to just explain it all, yeah. And so we get it all explained right at the beginning. And then the rest of the movie is just watching him kill everyone.
It's just
never expecting that he'll be anywhere but on top.
Yeah. It's just explanavision. That's all it is.
Yep. But Aaron, he's such a deep character.
He's not. He's not.
But
his dog died.
He has a dog.
He wants revenge.
He has a dog.
His purpose is singular.
Yep. Very flat.
Name another defining trait other than he's sad about his dog dying.
Well,
and don't say he's also sad about his wife dying, because you can't have them both. Dog and wife are like the same thing.
Well,
you kill one, you might as well kill the other.
As an individual who has both.
Look, I mean as a story device, all right?
It's like, well, my dog died. You might as well kill my wife. What's the fucking point? Like, it's...
Yeah, see, you get it.
Exactly.
You get it, all right.
Like, as soon as my wife dies, well, Zelda, my puppy, you might as well die now, too.
Just look right here.
I'm gonna call John Wick.
Yeah. So anyways, I saw that. I took my girlfriend to see it. She fell asleep.
Beautiful.
She fell asleep.
That's a keeper. Falls asleep to a shitty action movie.
That girl falls asleep at everything. Like, it's not even funny, man. Like,
it's a little funny.
It's a little funny. It's also kind of annoying because like we'll be like watching something and I'll just like feel her hand start to twitch and I'm like, get up. She's like, what? I'm like, you're falling asleep. She's like, no, I was just dozing. I'm like, okay, well, like we're trying to watch Stranger Things.
Oh, you can't fall asleep to Stranger Things.
First 5 minutes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Before the opening credits.
No.
Okay. She's never seen it. She's like, I don't think she'll mind me telling the story. She's like, I'm worried that it's going to be too scary. She's like, and I'm like, no, trust me. It's not going to be too scary. It's not going to be too scary. She's like, I'm like, what's the scariest movie you've ever seen? She's like, The Ring. I'm like,
That's pretty freaky.
Is it?
Isn't it?
I don't know. I saw it when I was like 13, and I don't really remember it that much. So.
Okay, well, my wife saw it when she was 13, and she's scarred for life. So I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's scary. I don't know. I don't remember it being that scary, but I'm maybe a bad judge of what's scary and what's not. So I asked some friends. I was like, "Yo, do you think Stranger Things is scary?" And they were all like,
Go ask someone
"No."
who actually has emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were like, "Nah, it's not that scary." Like, I asked your wife. I was like, "You're afraid of things sometimes?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Do you think Stranger Things is scary?" And she's like, Nah, bro. Tell her I say it's fine." So I was like,
Nah,
"Okay."
brah.
So, anyways,
It's a really good impression of my wife, by the way.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
brah.
Yeah. I know. Dude. I know. You don't have to tell me. So I'm like, okay, let's watch Stranger Things. And like, it was, in her defense, it was pretty late. Like, it was probably like 11:30 by the time we started the episode.
Yeah, late, sure.
It was like late. It was like late-ish, right? So we're watching it, and like, I could feel her head just like sliding backwards off my shoulder, and like her hands start to twitch, and I'm like, "You fucking kidding me? The kid hasn't even been abducted by the Demogorgon yet. Like, what the fuck is going on?" So then the credits start playing, and she kind of goes like, "Huh?" She's like, "Oh man." She's like, "What?" She's like, "I fell asleep." And I'm like, "I know, it's fine. I'll catch you up real quick." She's like, "On the whole show?"
Oh, she thought she missed the whole
And I'm
thing.
like, "What?" And like, she thought that it was like the end credits, and then she had fallen asleep and missed. And so I'm like, "What do you remember?" She's like, "Well, there's a guy running down the hallway and he gets in the elevator. I think he died." I'm like, "Yeah, he died.
Oh, he
That's
did,
good."
yeah.
She's like, "And then," I'm like, "You remember the kids playing D&D and then riding their bikes?" She's like, "There's kids?"
Missed the introduction of the main characters.
And so I like rewound it a little bit, and I'm like, "All right, so these are the four of them, and they're playing D&D, and then they got to go home, and then he gets abducted by something." And she's like, "Okay, cool." And
Boy.
then we watched the rest of the episode, and we watched 2 episodes actually, and she liked them.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she got into it, but it was like, I was like, seriously, if you fall asleep during Stranger Things, man, like, come on, girl. Damn.
It's such a good show.
Because I've been trying to get her to watch it like before season 3 comes out,
Yeah.
because I'm like, oh, this would be like a fun show to watch together. Like, we haven't really had like a couple show that we watch like together, really.
Yeah.
Like, we watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but we also will watch that independent of each other. Like, I introduced her to it, but then like she went home and watched it, and then like when season 6 came on Netflix, we got together that Friday and like binge watched like 10 episodes.
Nice.
But we watched the rest of the episodes like, separately. We didn't wait for each other to like come on. I'm like, it'd be so cool to have a show that we can like get into together. Yeah. And I was hoping it could be Stranger Things season 3, but that comes out like Tuesday, Thursday, something like that.
It's
July 4th.
It is Thursday, yeah.
Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I told her, I'm like, look, catch up as much as you can, but I am not waiting for you. I will watch Stranger Things season 3 without you. But I will come back and watch the rest of this show with you.
Well, you know what? If it doesn't work out for you to have Stranger Things season 3 be the thing that you watched with your girlfriend, watch it with me, bro.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
watch it with me.
Tight.
Because July 4th happens to be the day that my wife leaves the country for a month.
Oh, nice.
So I'm not waiting a month to watch that season. Yeah,
that,
so
man. No, I'm pretty stoked. I think I convinced my parents to watch it too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just get everyone on board.
I was like, yo, do you remember the 80s? And they're like, yes, unfortunately. I'm like, well, fucking get ready, because it's all the best things from the 80s, like kids on bikes and government experiments.
Government experiments.
Fucking thing posters on kids' bedrooms that like should never have seen the thing.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember like listening to a podcast or someone was talking about that. Like, it's a very romanticized version of the 80s. It's like it's not people who were kids in the 80s. It's people who grew up on 80s nostalgia. Kind of, right? Like us, in a way, where it's like we grew up in the 90s, but so much of what we watched was like John Carpenter movies and Steven Spielberg movies and
Yeah,
like that kind
definitely.
of, like the Goonies and E.T. and and so it's like we would have had like The Thing on our wall. But like a kid in the 80s, like that was like a cult movie that like it was like a midnight movie kind of thing, right? Like no 11, 12-year-old kid, however old they're supposed to be, right? Like no 12-year-old kid is going to have a John Carpenter's The Thing poster on their wall because they're not even going to know
Yeah.
what that is, let alone like convince their mom to buy it for them, right? Like
Yeah, not so much.
so it's kind of that like it's the nostalgia soaked romanticized 80s, which I'm fine with. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm really stoked for that, man. You know what else I'm stoked for on Netflix? Fucking Dark Crystal.
Right, I saw a trailer for that.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's gonna be so good. Also, Mark Hamill does a voice in it.
Oh, beautiful.
The Hamill-essence continues.
Yes, the Hamill-essence.
We had Luke Skywalker. He's back as Luke
Yes.
Skywalker. Him and Kevin Conroy had reunited to do Batman and the Joker one more
Yeah,
time.
that's right.
He's the voice of Chucky now.
Oh,
In the Child's Play movie, which I don't
yeah.
even really care about, but I'm gonna see it because Mark Hamill is the voice of
It's
Chucky.
fucking Mark Hamill, yeah.
Yeah, and now he does the voice of one of the Skeksis in Dark Crystal prequel.
I saw it on my YouTube feed or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And was like, just kind of like, oh, that's cool. I'll watch it. And then I couldn't believe how excited I was getting
Dude,
watching that trailer. I was like, oh my goodness.
Neither. Like,
this looks so fucking good.
dude, okay, like I probably hadn't seen the Dark Crystal. I watched it last night. I probably hadn't seen the Dark Crystal.
I need to rewatch it.
And like, dude, we should watch it again sometime.
Oh fuck yes.
It's so good. And Labyrinth.
Oh, just cause.
Unrelated, but I bought a box set. There was like a
Oh,
two,
it
it was like a
also has
2-pack. It
Labyrinth?
was Labyrinth
Yes,
and the Dark Crystal.
absolutely.
And it was at Walmart and it was $10 and I was like, fucking I'm an idiot if I don't buy this.
Double feature movie night for sure.
Oh god, yeah. So I forget where I was going with this. Oh yeah, okay, so like you know how like a lot of people have like this like really like deep nostalgia for like classic hand-drawn 2D animation
Absolutely, yeah.
kind of thing? Like you have that.
I do, absolutely.
I've never really had that. Like I appreciate it, but I don't necessarily think that it's better than like 3D animation. Like I know a lot of people are like hardcore, like, oh man, 2D is better than 3D, and like give me the hand drawn, and I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know, like, would Toy Story be better if it was 2D animation? Like I don't know, probably not. Like
Yeah, it's a completely different art style.
it's completely different art style, right? And it's like if the movie's a good movie, then I kind of don't care, right?
Oh,
And there's certainly things where like the style of the art or like of the animation like plays into whether or not it's an enjoyment of the movie. But basically, as long as it's high enough quality for me, I don't really care, right? And like if it's so bad, whether it's bad hand drawn animation or bad CGI animation that it takes me out of the movie, that's the only time I ever care about it.
yeah, that's fair.
So when people have that, this is a whole roundabout way of saying that, like when people have that like that nostalgia for like old school animation and stuff like that I don't really have. I never really understood it. I have that for puppets.
Yes, for the puppets.
I fucking love puppets so goddamn much. Like, which like I didn't realize I did. But like I watched the Dark Crystal trailer and I was like, holy
And you just saw all the
shit.
glorious puppets.
There's so many puppets in it.
and they're amazing.
And they're amazing. And I'm like, I can't believe that we're getting a fully puppet and it's not even animation. I don't know, like a full on like puppet movie.
Yeah.
That's not a Muppet movie.
It's
It's
really
like
amazing.
It's weird. Like I don't have that really with the Muppets either. Like I like the Muppets because they're the Muppets. I don't necessarily like them because they're puppets. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. But there's something about like I don't really know what it is. Maybe it's because they're real, but it's not. Like it's a physical thing that you had to film with an actual camera and like get a performance out of it, but it's fake.
Yeah.
Like maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember exactly what movie we're talking about. We've touched on that before on the podcast, where like having like live action props and like
Oh,
animatronics
sure,
and stuff,
yeah.
like had that's always had a kind of charm for you, right?
Yeah, I mean totally, right? I mean like it's going back to like, Yoda in Empire Strikes Back, like way better as a puppet. And yeah, just like a lot of things kind of coming from that era that I think if you can get a realistic performance out of a puppet, you know, or something real there, I think that's always better. What else did I see? I saw
Next
Godzilla.
month.
Godzilla sucked. Moving on.
Yeah, you told me about that.
It's just boring.
Yeah, you both fell asleep. Isn't that the one you fell asleep at the theater for?
Oh, I did. Yeah, Anna didn't come with me on that
Yeah,
one.
that's
Yeah,
right. That's
yeah.
right.
I went by myself, and yeah, no, I fell asleep a little bit in that movie. Just
Ugh.
so fucking boring. Like, how do you make a movie where Godzilla and Rodan and Mothra and King Ghidorah all fight each other? Awful. That's all I have to say about it. It's bad. The one thing that we should really real quick. The one thing we both saw, Aladdin.
Aladdin, yeah.
We both saw it. Go give me your thoughts.
I went in with no expectations and came out really happy with what I saw.
Good. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, like not a perfect movie. There were problems with it, but they did so much to bring that story into, like our time and did so much to bring it especially out of the time it came from in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
a lot of the choices they made were just like money choices.
It's weird because like I was kind of like, okay, like I saw some of the trailers and like they didn't really get me too pumped. You know, like the first teaser had like, the Cave of Wonders talking like a diamond in the rough. And I'm like,
That was a
oh,
really good Cave of Wonders, by the way.
thanks. There was hand gestures just for I was making a little puppet mouth.
Puppet.
Yeah. See, puppets. It all comes back to puppets.
Who dares disturb my slumber?
A diamond in the rough. Is that better?
That's a lot better, yeah.
Worth it. Oh god.
Ooh, was it though?
Yeah, no, it's fine. And I was
Is it
like,
worth
oh,
it for our listeners? I
I don't know. I'll put a limiter on it.
sounds good.
Where I'm like, oh, I get it. That's the thing that's supposed to like get me pumped up.
Mm,
Yep. Like, didn't do it for me. What kind of got me a little bit pumped up in that trailer was the like big orchestral like dramatic version of Never Had a Friend Like Me. Where it's like
yeah.
dun dun dun. Dun, dun. And I was like, oh shit, that's the song, but it's epic now.
Yeah.
But what really got me pumped up was they released a clip of the Prince Ali
The Prince Ali
scene.
Oh gosh. It's amazing.
Yeah, and like as soon as I heard that, oh, clear a path through the old bazaar. Hey, you, let us through. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'm down.
Yep.
That was good. No, I really liked it too. I like that they. Okay, how do I do this? I like that they gave Jasmine her own song. I wish it fit better with the rest of the music in the movie.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Everything that the song stood for, all the lyrics, the meaning, the message, powerful, absolutely worthwhile. It just was a completely different song.
It seemed like they just stuck a pop song in the middle of the movie.
Yeah, which I was really surprised by because it was like I don't know if he helped write it or was just consulted, but Alan Menken was a part of that. And then
Oh, dude, he like did the music for the movie.
but like that song specifically is what I was
Yeah.
but
yeah.
and I don't think Tim Rice was on that one, but
I don't know, but Alan
wasn't
Menken
like-
did like the score and everything for the movie.
oh yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I knew that much.
yeah.
But I
Like
was
they
just
brought
like-
him back. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, it was just it felt a little disjunct when that song came in.
Dude, how great would it be if Tim Rice and Tim Curry got together and like did a project together?
Curry and rice.
Curry and Rice. Oh, so good.
I don't know why I find that so funny, but I really, really do.
It's because it's a lame pun.
Oh, I am my father's son.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
So like in the pantheon of Disney remaking all of its old crap for the next generation and doing it in live action, I say, in this case, I think it's good.
Yep.
Jungle
Good
Book,
movie.
also good.
That was fun. Yeah.
Those are the only two I've seen, so I say good. Both good.
Yeah.
Haven't seen Cinderella.
Banging on all cylinders.
Haven't
Yeah.
seen what's the other one? Beauty and the Beast.
I never saw that one either.
Did they do another one? Is there another one? Oh, I haven't seen Maleficent, which is kind of like Sleeping Beauty, but told from the evil witch's perspective.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of like saying that Wicked is congruent with The Wizard of Oz,
I don't know. I
which like
haven't seen either of them.
it's just it's not really.
And by that I mean Maleficent or Wicked. I've seen The Wizard of Oz and I've seen Sleeping Beauty. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
that
okay,
yet.
yeah, okay, yeah. Okay.
Oh, Alice in Wonderland. That was bad.
Oh yes, that's right. Yep,
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
so
Yeah.
that one was bad.
Did I ever tell you?
Dumbo. They did Dumbo, and I don't think anyone gave a shit.
I forgot that they did it.
Yeah, me too. It like came and went. I think it came out like around the same. I think it came out like a week before the Avengers. I was like, "Here's Dumbo," and I'm like, "I don't care. Iron Man is about to happen."
Right. Yeah, you know what it was? I think my wife was actually watching the trailer and was like, "Oh, they're making a live action Dumbo." And I just looked over and just saw a moment of it. And I said, "Nope." And I walked out of the room because you know what Dumbo is? It's fucking depressing.
Yeah,
It's a horribly sad movie. And I
yeah,
remember it being brutally sad as a child. I do not want to see it as a live action movie. I just didn't even want to.
yeah. And then now they're doing the Lion King, and you want to know what? I think the Lion King is going to dramatically underperform. Like, I don't know if I'm
Like
ballsy.
box office wise?
Yeah, like I don't know if I'm ballsy enough to say that it's gonna bomb, but I think it's going to dramatically underperform. Um, for the sole reason that I don't know anyone who's excited about it.
I don't either.
Anyone. Everyone I talk to is like, that seems stupid and dumb, and I don't want it. And I'm like, it does seem stupid and dumb, doesn't it? I don't want it either.
Yeah.
Like the cartoon's good
Because
enough, man.
Because again, it's like it feels like
The cartoon's really good.
it's amazing.
But
Yeah.
it's like,
It feels like it's all about trying to bring those classic Disney movies into our era, but there's nothing to improve on
yeah,
with The Lion King. And so
No.
they're just doing it again with a different kind of animation style, right? With
Yeah.
like high
Well, and, like,
definition.
I think the worst part
graphics
is that
and
they
shit.
keep calling it the live action Lion King, and I'm like, it's not. Oh my god.
Oh yeah,
There's
no,
nothing live action
there's
about
no-
it.
It doesn't make any sense that they would call it.
You could
that.
call it like the photorealistic Lion King.
Sure, that'd be a better way to put it.
The best part was when they released all the like character posters, and it's like Donald Glover is Simba, Beyonce is Nala, and I'm like, it's just a picture of a lion. It's just a picture of a lion
It's the lion.
with Childish Gambino's name on it. Like,
Yep.
it's terrible. I'm not excited for it. Speaking of terrible,
Perfect segue.
let's get into this month's movie. This month's movie we picked somewhat at random. Didn't have anything to do with anything that's been in theaters recently.
No, we just kind of stuck our hand in the puddle of muck that is the bad movies of our planet.
Yeah.
And kept sifting through it, as is our duty.
Yeah, I have a barrel of that muck that we just kind of reach into every now and then. I keep that upon myself or taking that upon myself to keep that.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I really
Yeah.
don't like putting my hand in there.
But I
It
said
smells.
to you, Matt, would you rather watch sci-fi crap or Aussie schlock? And you said sci-fi crap, and
Which I regret, just to be clear.
that's what we got. So we watched. What the fuck was this even called? We watched Forbidden World.
A galactic troubleshooter summoned to the Forbidden World, held in an icy grip of fear by a weird biological mutation. Part alien, part human, all nightmare.
I thought it was the Forbidden Planet.
No, Forbidden Planet is the movie with Leslie Nielsen from like the 1950s with Robbie the Robot. It's like The Tempest, but it's science fiction.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's like a good movie.
Yes.
This is a bad movie. I mean, listen to the rest of the episode to find out what we think of it.
What do you really think, Aaron?
It's from 1982, I think,
And it felt like it.
and it's by Roger Corman. And it felt like it.
Oh, so true.
How many Roger Corman movies have we done on the podcast? We did Chopping Mall. I
Yep.
believe was a Roger Corman movie.
Was it BMX Bandits?
No.
No. Thinking of something else. Okay.
Punisher was actually technically a Roger Corman movie.
Right. Yes.
New World Pictures.
Yeah, not our first dip into the Corman puddle.
No. But probably our last for a while. At least for a while.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I mean, yeah. Do you want to try to sum up the plot, or do you want me to take a crack at it? I don't feel like there's a lot to say on that.
I feel like
subject,
I can
but
sum up the plot in one sentence, which I
Oh.
wrote down here. It's like
Perfect.
Alien, but bad.
and nailed it. That's the movie, folks.
But like actually,
Actually, yeah, no,
it's
100%.
yeah, like this. There's a guy whose name I forget. Colby.
Yeah, I was just about to say, hey, what's the main character's name in the movie we just watched?
I think it's Colby.
Because I don't know.
Or Mike. Or maybe it's Mike Colby.
It is Mike. It is Mike. Or at least that's what he tells people to call him.
Okay.
Call me Mike.
It is Mike. Okay. So Mike.
Yeah.
And his robot butler? I don't know.
His robot
Sam?
pilot / does everything competent, even though he keeps turning him off. Yeah, his name is Sam.
Sam.
Mike and Sam.
Are like flying through space and they get attacked by some ships.
Which unknown number of ships.
Yeah, which they blow up, and that's like the opening scene. And then he's like, "Why'd you wake me up, Sam?" He's like, "We're being summoned to this planet." And he's like, "I thought I was going home." And they're like, "Well, orders are orders. You gots to go."
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah. He sounds like Alpha, but less annoying.
Yeah.
Sam. Like he's got kind of like a high, like little boy voice.
It does kind of sound. Well, I'm sorry, sir. Sorry to wake you.
Yeah, but like he looks like the cross between like a stormtrooper and a Cylon.
Yes, absolutely. In like a really good way.
Yeah, like I think they got some stormtrooper armor, painted it gray, glued a couple knobs and switches onto the chest plate, and then like switched out the helmet for something kind of Cylon-esque,
Yep.
but not quite. And like they're like, "All right, here's the robot."
And like looks pretty good.
It does look pretty good.
It's also the first thing we see really in the movie is
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, like
It-
cool.
It set like a good like the opening was good.
Yep.
Like I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe this movie will be all right." And
And then they go to the planet
I
that they're.
don't know if it was or not.
Yeah. Well, like I was like, oh, cool robot, and then
Yeah.
it's helping out the dude. I was like, oh, I guess the dude's the main character. And then they get to the planet where they've been summoned. The robot, I think he started to introduce himself,
Yeah.
and Mike just turns around and turns him off.
His on-off button is like right on his chest too, so it's
Yeah.
like not hard to get to. Yeah, just like turns him off, and then they just walk away and they leave him standing there, like in the middle of the hallway, kind of blocking a doorway.
Yep.
It's like there's like a doorway at the end of this hallway, but it's like an L-shaped hallway, and it's like right in the corner of the L is where the door is. So he's blocking like two hallways and a door by right where he's standing. It's very inconvenient. That's all I could think during that scene.
Yep. And then we don't see him for like 45 minutes.
Yeah. Nice. So the
Research facility.
yeah, they're at the research facility. It consists of an old guy, a very horny woman.
Oh my gosh, yes.
She gets one look at Mike, and she is so thirsty.
It is constant bedroom eyes.
And like not even, it's like there's nothing subtle about it.
No.
Like, yeah, like she might as well just be holding up a sign that says, "I want the D." yours specifically?
Yeah, really, like there are two female characters
Yeah.
in this movie, and
Yeah.
both of them feel like complete facsimiles of women. Like
They're in there
they're
to
not real
be naked
characters.
in several scenes.
Yep.
Um
They're there to lust after the main character.
yeah, there's the older one who's like hella thirsty. And then there's a slightly younger one who's dating the guy whose job it is to clean up all the dead cats.
Yeah, so the problem that that our main character is summoned to the lab for is that all of their specimens, all of them,
All of them.
were killed
Yeah.
violently
Yeah.
by their one remaining specimen.
Yeah. And so there's like a bunch of like dead animals. Most of them seem to be cats or possums.
Seemed like
maybe.
a lot of cats, and then at one point,
a turtle.
A turtle, yeah.
It may have been a tortoise. We didn't get a good look.
That's
at
true.
it.
I didn't get a great
Yeah.
look.
At the base, there's like an old scientist dude.
And he's kind of like in charge.
Yeah, an ugly, crazier scientist dude who's coughing.
Yeah, he's coughing and smoking a bunch.
Kind of looks like a chubby, like Tim Roth, sort of, with like crazy hair.
Yeah,
Like Weird Al vibes going on, maybe.
A little bit.
There is the token Blackman,
Classic, yeah.
and there's the token Hotman, whose job it is to clean up the dead cats. Oh, and there's the pervert.
Oh, yeah, and then there is the creepy perv.
Yeah.
Who
has the creepy perv mustache and is a creepy perv.
Yeah. Yep.
Because he creepily pervs on both of the girls? I mean,
yeah.
there was that one scene where the younger one is getting changed, and like the view that we're seeing into the room from is like the POV of the camera that would be in her room.
Because cameras are just everywhere in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, even outside of the base.
Yeah. It's floating around.
So, it's unexplained.
Yeah, so like I assume that someone was watching that, or that they just used that, because otherwise why use that shot?
Well, like much of the movie, it was incredibly unclear.
Yes.
So anyway, a bunch of dead cats.
We're killed by this weird alien spider thing.
Yeah, it's like some kind of organism. What do they call it? A
metamorph.
A metamorph, yeah.
Yeah.
Which basically means that it cocoons every once in a while and changes its DNA and comes out of the cocoon a different creature.
Yeah.
And they made a genetic mutant that can do that, which killed everything else in the lab.
Yeah. And so the token hot man, whose job it is to clean up dead cats, decides to open the case, the glass case that this thing is in, which, by the way, just opens up.
Yeah.
There's no lock on it or anything. It's just like a handle, and you just lift it up.
Yeah, it's like the kind of thing that you would have like donuts behind.
Yeah. Like when you go to the grocery store and there's like the drawer with donuts, and you just open the case and you take out as many donuts as you want and you put them in the box provided.
Yeah. And so like if you were in a grocery store and you had to contain a genetic mutant,
put it in the freezer.
Yeah, you wouldn't put it with the fucking donuts.
And then I'd put one of the rubber dividers for the checkout lane, where you have to like separate your groceries from the plebeian behind you.
Good use of plebeian. I enjoyed that.
Well, everyone at the grocery store is worse than you. That's just a standard fact of humanity.
Fact of life.
And it's true of the other person who's in the checkout in front of you. You are worse than them. But it's just when you're at the grocery store. It's just where ugh.
Well, it was a fun and little insight into life here on the Retro Craptacular podcast.
There's just something about like going grocery shopping that brings out the worst in humans, I think.
That's why you order them online and you don't talk to anyone.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just it's one of those tasks that none of us want to do. So we're all just like trying to just like get it done, and then it results in us being horrible to each other. Had some bad experiences at the grocery store.
I can
lately.
tell.
Okay.
Yeah. Why
Uh,
don't we talk about that later? I can help
we
you
can talk about
unpack
it
that.
later. But I have started getting my produce at a local farmer's market.
Cute.
Yeah, it's on my way home from work. If I decide not to take the freeway because it's always jammed up, because for whatever reason there's always an accident right before the exit that I need to take to get home.
Yeah, classic.
Right before. And so, or it's on the other side of it, but it's backed up to just before. I'm like, great. So I'm like, get there, get stuck in traffic, and be able to see where I need to be and not be able to get there. Or be that dick that drives on the shoulder.
No one wants to be that.
No one wants to be that guy, but like sometimes it's just like,
You want to, right?
someone's got to do it.
It's like when you're stuck on the highway and you see someone on a motorbike just cruising down the shoulder, and you're like, I would too.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, yeah, good for you, man.
Yeah, just get out.
Well,
Or go to a farmer's market.
go to a farmer's market. So yeah, there's like a nice little farmer's market on the way home. We get like fresh produce. It's always way cheaper. It's not super busy.
It's nice. Yeah,
Yeah, it's good.
yeah it's nice.
It's good. Where were we? So
So a bunch of dead cats.
oh my god, we still haven't this dead cats.
No, we're talking about the mutant behind the
I just want
barely hidden glass door. Like,
yeah.
no
So
loss.
the guy like lifts it up. This thing has just killed all of the cats.
Yes,
and
a
the
turtle.
tortoise.
Yeah.
He decides to like stick his face in and look at it.
And the cocoon is like gestating.
Yeah,
Like,
and he's like, "Oh, that's not good." So he goes and calls Dr. Scientist Man. And he's like, "Dr. Scientist Man, this thing is like gestating." And he's like, "Well, let me know if anything interesting happens. I don't want to miss it." He's like, "Okay." Then he goes and sticks his head back in the thing where now something has fallen out of the cocoon.
It looks like a big leech.
Yeah, or like a liver.
Leech liver.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm going to stick my head in, look at it, decide it's a bad idea, and then like slowly bring my head out. And
He
then
doesn't even really bring his head out. He's just slowly trying to close it.
oh yeah, his head is still in it. He's trying to close the glass, but like his head is still in it. So it's going to like hit him in the back of the head. Anyways, the thing jumps on his fucking face.
Yeah,
and,
of course it does. It face hugs him.
Yeah. It's like Alien.
Yep.
But bad.
But bad.
So it like jumps on his face. And it's like all up on his face, and it's like sucking on his
Yeah, he's
face.
thrashing
And
around, and blood is just. It's not really squirting out of him. It's just appearing everywhere.
it just like sprays onto the camera, but not out of him because we can see him on the camera, the
Yeah,
security camera.
He's like a meter and a
and
half
then, like
away.
a bunch of blood hits it from like the other side.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
Oh yeah, and then it goes to the control room where you can see that happening on the screen, and it pans over and just everyone else is having dinner.
Yeah, they're having strawberry shortcake.
Yeah,
with
that's
no
right.
whipped cream, and it's a very big point of contention
To our token black
to
character.
the token black character, who by the way is like the hottest guy
He's so good looking.
in the movie, maybe even hotter than the token Hawkeye.
Yeah, the token Hawkeye is like just.
I mean, he has
Like-
a mullet kind of thing going on. It's not really his fault.
Well, I guess not. No.
It was the 80s, but
But like our lead is
no, he's like a crusty dude in his like late 30s.
not an attractive man.
No,
No, sir.
no. Like he's the kind of guy who they could afford to cast.
That's a very good way of putting it. Yeah, yeah,
That's
absolutely.
kind of what it is, right? And so they ooh, that peak. So they yeah, they cast him, and then they decided to not give the lead to the attractive African American gentleman,
Of course.
because you couldn't do that because it was
82.
1982.
Yep.
And yeah,
And he just wants his whipped cream.
he just wants a whipped cream, and then
You can't have strawberry
the horny
shortcake
lady's
without
like, well, you could go whip up some whipped cream in the science-y kitchen word that she invents on
Yep.
the spot,
And then she sucks her finger.
and then she sucks her finger. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So like
So bad.
for like
Such bad writing.
for like it's awful.
It's
For like every
ugh.
scene that she's in, we're like, oh my god, like Is she just like a horrible actress, or is like her character supposed to be just like instantly turned on by this dude? And like, to be fair, her pick of men, she should have gone for the token black guy. And I really wish we knew his name, but I don't think anyone ever says it.
Like, I just assume that someone did. But
Yeah.
again, we had to really fight to remember the lead character's name.
That's
so.
true. I don't remember anyone's name in this movie other than Mike and Sam.
Mike and Sam. I think one of the female characters was named Barbara.
Yes, the horny lady's named Barbara.
Yes.
You're right. You're right.
Barbara of the Thirst.
And what is the young girl's name?
Julie.
Julia. Think I'm finally getting through to you.
Someone started at work named Julia, and I constantly want to sing that, and then I just like either she won't get it or she will have heard it every day of her life, and I don't know what to do.
That's all right. There's a girl that plays on my spring co-ed soccer team named Sophia, and every time someone says her name, I get stuck in my head a song that like no one else will know but me and 3 other people probably, because it's a song that was by an old band that I was in. We had a song called Sophia, and the chorus was Sophia.
Nailed it.
It was like a really fun riff to play though, so like I kind of just like
nice.
get stuck in my head all the time.
But you could never just sing that at someone because
they'd be like, Sophia, I need you.
That's your song.
Yeah, and they'd be like, what? And I'm like, don't you know who I am?
and you'd be an asshole.
Just immediately get super indignant and flex my minor local celebrity status from like 6 years ago.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's what you should do every time.
Yeah, good. So anyways, we were asking ourselves, is she just a horrible actress? Like maybe she was just like in some porn before this and then she got like a real movie job, so like she just delivers lines as if she's horny?
No, I think it was written that way.
Well, yeah, it was, because then like immediately, well, first of all, there's several scenes where she ends with like some innuendos where, you know, it's like, well, we're going to be here all night. And he's like, huh, got any ideas of how we could pass the time? She's like, oh, I think I've got a few. And she's like stroking her cleavage.
Yeah, not so subtle.
You know, things like that. And then literally he's about to like go into his room. And then she pops out of her room wearing like a teeny tiny bathrobe. And she's like, come here, you sex bomb.
That might as well have been what she said, honestly. Like,
but the best part of that is he's like, all right. And it's like goes into her room. And then it cuts back to the pervert guy. And he's like, no, sir, I put you in room 1. Sir, sir. And I'm like, that's really funny. But then he just switches the camera to the camera in her room and just like casually watches them fuck while playing with like a yo-yo.
it's one of those things. It's kind of like a top that has a string going through the middle.
Yeah.
And so like you pull the string tight and then it spins.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's called.
Yeah. It's like a future yo-yo.
It's more like a future dreidel, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like that happens, and then the pervert guy, his
an alarm goes off.
Yeah, his perving is casually interrupted by a security breach, so he goes looking for the alien and like obviously dies. But while he's going, it just like intermittently flashes frames of them having sex on the screen, and it's like, I'm like, is this supposed to be like a you know, weird artistic take on like how the male brain works?
You know, I think that this whole movie was a weird artistic take on how the male brain works.
Really? Because I think this whole movie was edited by a squirrel. It's fucking random, man.
Edited by a squirrel. Yeah, no, that's fair. The pacing in every scene is totally fucked.
Well, and then there's just so many scenes where just like random flashes of things that either will happen in the movie in the future, like
Yeah,
when
that's
he's in
right.
hypersleep.
We didn't really talk about that, but that's how the movie starts. We see Sam as a cool robot, and then Sam walks over to Mike, who's asleep, and then there's just a ton of weird flashes.
Yeah.
And I definitely thought watching this, I was like, oh, like we're getting flashes of all of the things that are gonna happen in this movie, but they're things that happened in this dude's past.
In the past, yeah,
and
yeah.
we're gonna see kind of like the end of the movie, and then it's gonna go back.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get filled in on his past.
Would have made sense.
But nope.
Nope. They just needed to fill some time, so they just
pad that reel, yeah.
Yeah, just cut some because the movie's only like 75 minutes long. Like it's not that long.
Could have been shorter, really.
Could have been shorter. But yeah, so like, yeah, that is just happening. Where it's just like things from the future are happening, but then also sometimes things from the past will be happening. Like at the very end of the movie, you kind of get like just random flashes.
Yeah, it tries to
of the
recap
things happen.
recap the bits of the whole movie. It really recaps
Again,
the worst bits of the whole movie.
A lot of them fucking. And the scene where the two women are in a shower, but it's just like a laser shower.
It is a laser
or like
shower.
a light shower. So like they've been like sprayed down, so they're damp. And then they're just like standing in the middle of the room where there's like lights flashing on them, but they're just standing there naked. And we're supposed to be like, oh, this is some like future waterless shower.
Yeah, they didn't.
But they're just standing.
Didn't even try to make it
damp in the middle of a room,
anything.
naked. Yeah, it's real dumb. And
Yeah.
for whatever reason, it's mostly played out in an extreme wide, so you can see them head to toe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, creepy perv.
Creepy perv. He dies.
Oh, yeah, no,
I'm trying to race through this here.
Oh, dude, I don't want to slow it down, but there's one thing that really bugged me.
Yeah.
While creepy perv is looking for the alien,
Yeah.
he goes down to where like the lockers are,
Oh yeah.
and he goes into one of the girls' locker, I think the younger one,
Yeah.
and takes out what looks like a necklace. Like he steals it from her locker.
Yeah.
Then he goes to Barbara's locker and puts the necklace in one of her pockets.
Okay. And that never comes up.
This never comes up.
Because I was gonna say, like, I don't remember that happening.
At first I thought,
And I don't
like,
remember them ever like talking about it or fighting about it.
no, at first I thought it was like, oh, is he just stealing some like piece of jewelry because he's a creepy perv? But then he puts it in the other girl's pocket. I was like, is he trying to frame her for something?
Yeah, I guess.
But then he dies, and that never comes up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. When you said he goes to her locker and he steals, I immediately thought the next word you were gonna say was gonna be like underwear. Like he steals a pair of panties from her or something. I'm like, oh, I don't remember that. But he is the creepy perv
He is
character,
the creepy perv.
so that makes sense.
In the credits, it was creepy perv.
Yeah.
Mike, Sam, old guy, creepy perv.
Yeah.
Barbara.
Darla? No.
Uh,
Julia.
maybe.
Maybe. But yeah, so he dies. Young girl decides to go sit in the sauna. So that's an excuse to have her be naked for like 10 minutes straight.
Yep.
Like a long time. In which case Mike comes in and he's like, hey, what's going on in here? And she's like, you shouldn't be in here. I'm, tanning or whatever. And he's like, well, there's a thing on the loose. So I just came in here to warn whoever was in here. I didn't know it was you. He just fucked Barbara.
And he gives this younger girl like such a sleazy smile.
Oh yeah,
it's skin crawling.
And says something like, "You're gorgeous."
That's that. I think that's the very first thing that comes out of his fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Is he walks in here, and she's naked.
Yeah.
And she's like, like, what are you doing in here? And he's like, you're gorgeous.
Yeah. And then
it's so fucking creepy.
But she's like almost immediately disarmed, and she's like, you should get naked too.
Yep. Like, she says, you look like you could use the sauna.
Yeah.
And he says, well, I have had a hard night.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. It's so cheap.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And so he
takes his shirt
off, and then she sees his scars, and then she's like, maybe not. And like goes and like lies back down. And then the alien busts in, and they go running out of the room, and then everyone kind of, comes running in. They're like, "What happened? We got attacked by aliens." And he's like, "What happened?" And they're like, "There's an alien in there." And then the token black guy is like, "More importantly, what were you and her doing in there dressed like this?" And I'm like, "More importantly?"
There's a mutant killing
There's a
everyone.
mutant alien thing killing everyone. The perv is dead.
And no one had seemed to notice yet at that point either,
Yeah.
just to be clear.
But let's kind of blow through this because there's a lot of not important stuff that happens after
That
this.
was literally the last note that I made. I stopped caring after that.
So the token hot guy, his body is like disintegrating, turning into jelly, but he's still alive.
Yep.
And the crazy Weird Al Tim Roth science guy
That's his full title, yeah.
determines that he is turning into like pure protein.
Yep, all of the complex cells in his body are breaking down so that he's a single
Yeah.
sort of cell, but
Yeah.
he's still a living piece of
So
meat.
he's like a simple protein kind of thing, right?
And then he splits in half.
And then he splits in half, and so he's like dividing,
Reproducing,
right? So, he basically, I guess, figures out like he has cancer, and so he basically figures out that if he can get the creature to eat his tumor, the cancerous cells will become absorbed into the creature and it'll kill it. While he's figuring this out, Barbara and the other girl, who were just finished taking their laser shower, put on their teeny tiny bathrobes and go try to communicate with the beast, which is, at one point it went outside and they went and shot lasers at it, and then the doctor,
and they found the creepy perv's body outside.
yeah, and the doctor
they did not
got
take it with
killed. And then it broke back inside and was like hanging out in the control room and had like tapped into the computer somehow. Not important.
I guess, yeah.
And so Barbara went to communicate with it, and she's like, "Can we coexist?" And then it like stabs her. It's so sleazy. It like stabs her between the legs.
Yeah, it's not explicitly shown.
It's not, but it shows like the tentacle kind of like comes over the console and like goes down like in between her legs. And then the next thing you see is it like coming, like exploding out of like the back of like her shoulder, like the point of this tail. So it's like you can like guess what happened, and it's like, ugh, so
It's
unnecessary.
Bad. It's revolting, really.
Yeah. So that happens, and then the Weird Al doc convinces Mike to perform emergency surgery on him and cut out his tumor. And he's like, "Doc, I don't know how to do this." And he's like, "I'll talk you through it." And he basically like cuts him open with an X-Acto knife,
him open,
basically, and cuts out the tumor,
rips the tumor out of him,
and just like pitches it into the alien's mouth, and it kills it.
Yep.
And then there's like a bunch of flashes of the movie that we just saw.
Yep.
Happening, cutting back to them having sex and the naked girls in the laser shower several times.
Yep.
And then the movie's over.
Yeah, and the monster's just kind of like melting.
Yeah.
Like,
I gotta say, like, one of the things that's like pretty impressive with this movie, like for like a Roger Corman movie, is like the creature effects are actually pretty good.
Yeah, not terrible. Like, I mean, not great, but
yeah, like the sets and the makeup, creature effects, and even like the people rotting and stuff like that.
The bodies breaking apart and still kind of being partially alive was probably the best part.
Yeah, those are like really, really well done.
Yeah,
practical effects.
But oh boy.
Yeah.
I think we were pretty transparent with our feelings about this movie as we talked about it.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever watch it again. So I think for that reason, I gotta say that it's one big pile of shit.
This is quite definitely one big pile of shit, my friend.
That is one big pile of shit.
'Twas a stinker.
Mike was a space ranger.
Oh, of course.
I'm just reading the description here as I look up the Rotten Tomatoes score. A space ranger lands at a research station where a flesh-eating mutant is loose. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And doesn't save the day, really.
No, not really.
Like the doctor who gave up his life to have a tumor removed is the one who saved the day.
Yeah, cancer.
Cancer saved the day. Oh, I hate.
Uh,
Oh, yikes. Yeah. So
didn't see that twist coming though. Gotta
no,
say
I mean,
that.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like one kind of original bit. What do you think this got on Rotten Tomatoes?
22.
No. No, this is weird.
What?
Well, there's only 5 reviews.
That's not very many.
No. But for some reason, this movie has a 60%.
Excuse me.
There's a red tomato there, my friend.
60%.
Yeah. The audience score is 32%, which I feel is like more accurate.
So, yeah, a little more justified. What the hell?
Yeah.
Well, no, Rotten Tomatoes. You're wrong.
Yeah.
You're wrong this time.
I mean, again, there's only 5 reviews, right? So 3 good, 2 bad.
Okay, well, if this episode of the Retro Craptacular is going to mean anything, it should mean this. If you have the ability
We're going to get it down.
to go make a review on this movie on Rotten Tomatoes, please.
We need to get certified as Rotten Tomatoes critics.
I would love that.
So that we can
instigate change.
Add a negative review to this movie to bump it down to an even
specifically
50%.
Yeah, specifically just for this movie. That's what I want.
And to get Godzilla 98's rating up.
Yeah, because that was fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
dude,
woof.
There's been like, we might be the only people on the internet who like that movie.
It kind of seems like that, isn't it?
Yeah. There's been a lot of hate because the new Godzilla movie came out, so then there's a lot of people like doing Godzilla 98 related content.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of hate for that movie.
Man, yeah. It's fun.
It's just fun.
It's just fun. Just have fun with it.
Yeah.
It's not like you could just have fun with the piece of crap we just watched.
Yeah.
What was it called? Ghost Planet?
Forbidden World.
Forbidden World.
You know what the problem with the Godzilla King of the Monsters was? There's no one in that, like, this is why it was so boring. There's no one in that movie that's as entertaining as Hank Azaria.
You need a Hank Azaria.
Or Jean Reno.
Oh. And if you get both.
Yeah, like, there's good actors in that movie, man. Like Ken Watanabe's in that movie.
Brilliant.
Vera Farmiga's in that movie. The guy who I always mix up with the guy from Office Space, but it's not him. Kyle Chandler. Kyle Chandler's in the movie. There's like good actors in this movie, but like for some reason, it's just fucking boring. But anyways, yeah, that's not the point. The point is Forbidden World.
Forbidden World is a crap fest in a bad way, in a very bad way. I mean, like, ultimately, this might be one of the worst.
Yeah, I was thinking the other day, maybe we should do like a rating, like an actual list that we could put up somewhere where we kind of rank them like best to worst, kind of.
I see.
At the very least,
we rate them at the end of every episode.
No,
friend.
I know, but like a ranking.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like at the very least, we should maybe put up a chart with like good, bad, craptacular.
Oh yeah, like what's made the cut so far.
What's what? Yeah,
that'd be fun. Yeah, let's do them. Yeah,
can do that.
Maybe for our 40th.
Oh yeah, that's not too far away.
I don't actually know how far away it is. I was just
trying
to procrastinate.
I think this is episode 29.
Oh, so we got lots of time.
Yeah, we got lots of time. It's like a year away.
Procrastination.
Anyways, that's been the show. Now is the part of the show where I tell you what to do. No, but if you enjoy the show, thank you so much. You can always rate and review the show on iTunes. That really helps us a lot. Or you can just like tell somebody about it. Be like, hey, I listened to this show and I think it's pretty good. You should listen to it too. And then they'll be like, thank you, good friend, for letting me listen to you. That's what they'll say to us.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It was a little confusing. Couldn't tell if you were talking to
I was just trying to
me
make it
or-
rhyme. I thought about trying to do the whole outro in like a Dr. Seuss.
Ooh, I think you might need to prepare that ahead of time.
But maybe I'll prepare that ahead of time. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Basically, you can find the show. You can. Oh, we have a Patreon. There's some stuff on there that's pretty good. We watched a movie that's maybe even worse than this. No, definitely worse. Definitely worse.
Yeah.
That might be the worst movie we've ever watched.
No, that's true. Yeah, that's the worst.
And so, nothing but the worst for our patrons. We put that up there for you to listen to. So check that out. It's a pretty affordable Patreon, as far as the Patreons that are out there go. And
Yeah, we don't want to be greedy.
yeah, we're not greedy, and we appreciate that you appreciate us. So if you feel like it, do it. And if not, save your money, man. Like, economy sucks right now. It's hard. It's hard out there for a pimp, you know?
Oh boy.
That was a Oscar-nominated song from the movie Hustle and Flow.
Perfect. Yeah, we were wrapping up, I think.
It's hard out there for a pimp. Yeah. So we'll be back next month. Did I do all the things? I told them to rate and review. I told them where they could find
You
us.
didn't ask anyone to email us though.
Oh, you can email us if you want to get in touch. That's true. We're
That's
on
my favorite part.
at RetroCrapPod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can email us at retrocrappod@gmail.com. Email us a question. I didn't bother to check the Gmail before this episode, so there may have been a question in there or a comment.
It was probably a bunch of hate mail about the Godzilla
Probably.
movie.
Yeah, so we'll get to that. We'll get to that next month.
Looking forward to it.
Oh, God, I hope there's some in there now. If you think we're idiots because we like Godzilla 1998, please email in retrocrappod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, please.
And so, yeah, we'll be back next month with another movie that's hopefully even crappier and therefore even better than this one. But until next time, thank you for listening and keep watching crap.